Okay, so we just started recording. So coming back into Sargoth. Last we left off, you guys had a bit of an intriguing development. You met with a man who claims that his name is Varys, some form of creature that kind of ambushed some of the Cobalt Guard, and then had a short discussion with you about the dagger, the ceremonial dagger. He wanted it back. It was his. You guys had broken into his apartment. You guys did end up giving him the dagger after some discussion. He did not want to kill you, as he believed that there may be a time in the future that you guys could work together. As ridiculous as that seems in this moment, he seemed to think it was plausible. Sakir was charmed by him during this time and that conversation. And we pick back up as you guys are making your way back to the Carrion's Call, which is the tavern where you guys previously were staying and where the 3 survivors of these attacks have been sent. And they're a little ways ahead of you, so they'll beat you there by a long shot. If you guys want to have some discussion while you're on your way, you're welcome to. If not, we can just start there at the Carrion's Call.
I would like to start up, like, right as everyone's entering into the Carrion's Call. Like, everyone else is walking in, and it's Sakir and I right before we go through the door. I'm going to grab his shoulder and just kind of pull him around the corner and push him up, like, kind of, across the shoulders with the elbow and fist. And he's going to say, "What the hell was that back there?"
Sakir still charmed?
Yeah. No, Zach and I briefly talked over. I'm gonna act normally besides a few things, don't worry. Yeah, so you push me up against the wall. Back there, I assume you're talking about the... I assume you're talking about the devil. And not the one we fought.
He's going to kind of look at him blankly for a moment and then lean in a little tighter. Yes, the one that we did not fight. What happened?
Well, remember... What would it be now? Time passes so fast. Remember when I came to request your aid when you were still in the army and you wouldn't come and... you wouldn't come hear of my situation? It happened about a year before then. And
about
if you'd like to hear
midway
about it,
through this next, as soon as he says, if you would like to hear about it, his other fist, Rikus is going to just like sucker punch him across the face and keep holding him there.
you can't get away with that. I'm sorry. Zach, do I have permission for a slight bit of PvP?
Tomfoolery? Sure.
Yes. Okay.
So you're currently pinned by me on the wall.
I will say that you are currently grappled.
So I'm going to make an unarmed strike against your AC.
Which you just did. Yes. The slap across my face.
Yeah.
I was letting you hit that, though. I was letting you hit that.
Yeah.
That was the first strike.
So what's the damage on that? 2?
He doesn't want to tell me.
Crits.
Hold on.
Unarmed strike, it should be like 2 or 3.
You must
it's
roll.
1 plus your strength.
Hold on. Oh, 1 plus my strength? Yeah, that's 2. I have to do the whole... I'm going to do the whole thing and...
Yeah, so that's,
Yeah, there we go.
That's 2 points of damage to Sakir as he just sucker punches you across the face. And as he's holding you up against this wall, Sakir seems very unbothered by this. Almost unnervingly so, in this case.
Like
By his punch?
unbothered by my punch,
by
or
being pushed up against the wall. The punch is what seems to bring him to some form of aggression in this case. So,
Okay.
Jade, what do you do?
My turn. I'm gonna teleport behind him. Deja vu. And I'm gonna
Personality kid.
go ahead and do my own 2 attacks per action. Unarmed strike.
damn, I didn't even do my 2 attacks per action, bitch. I just threw a punch.
Hey, you threw the one, but
Yeah,
he's
I-
actually starting a fight here.
Thomas,
Yeah,
the grapple.
and the thing is, I'm the puncher. I'm sorry.
Thomas, the grapple
No.
was the first attack action. What do you mean?
Yeah, the grapple would have been an attack, if we're
Oh.
being technical.
You
Either way, we
bitch.
continue. Jade,
Okay, I don't know if these are gonna hit.
everything.
I don't know if these are gonna hit because your AC is pretty high. The first one is a 17,
Does not hit.
and the second one is 15.
Yeah, it doesn't hit.
okay, so Secure, you
Okay.
become mist and shift behind him and try and swing twice. Rikus ducks underneath him and kind of abouts face. Rikus, what would you like to do?
I'm going to. I guess a grapple is. Do you consider a grapple and an unarmed strike like as part of like the multiple like?
So a grapple, you would use one of your attacks as part of your attack action to attempt
Okay,
to
so
grapple,
it would
and it's
be.
contested.
So I would still be able to do extra attack. So okay. Cool. Well, I will attempt to grapple by. Since I ducked down, I'm going to kind of lean to the side, and I'm going to leg swipe him, lock his leg, and then force him to the ground. Again, trying to pin him.
Okay, you guys can roll contested athletics checks.
Wayne Leopold, should we be stopping this?
I was
It's athletics
wondering
and not
if
acrobatics?
you guys are
turns
inside.
resolved
They
to
waited
then
for
hear.
you guys to go inside, so you guys could maybe
Yeah, I waited.
come back out
I waited for them
in
to
a little
go
bit.
inside.
Yeah,
But you
I
guys
was-
are inside the tower. Which, speaking of, since we're in between rounds right now, as you guys walk in, it's late or mid to late afternoon at this point. As you guys walk in, it's not super busy right now. You guys have some Cobalt Guardsmen. There's a couple constables there talking to the 3 survivors. There's one in particular who seems extra emaciated, just completely skin and bones. Probably a middling height, a human just with jet black hair, who just has this massive tankard of ale. And he seems to be sitting on a table off on his own, off to the right. He doesn't seem very welcoming. He seems very much like he's trying to be off on his own. He's already given his statement and all that. So as you guys step in and you guys see that, we're going to step back outside to the Anadeus brothers.
All right, we're rolling contested athletics.
Yes.
All right.
And not acrobatics. I really like it, but
Oh. I'd
what?
like
I'll
acrobatics
take
too.
hey, did I win? I got a 9.
Oh my god.
Evenly matched. Good lord.
You barely. What the shit?
Okay, so as you go under and try and take his legs out and grapple him in that regard, would you like to try and make a strike? As Secure is almost trying to go for some kind of triangle or guillotine or something on you, as he's held his feet in this case.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some, martial arts, that I know of. Well, defensive martial arts, like
Okay.
jujitsu.
Would you?
Anyways,
Would you like to make an unarmed strike in this moment?
yes. Sorry, I was getting more water. Hold on, sorry. Okay.
Jade just
Uh,
vibing right now.
So failing the leg swipe, as I'm kind of falling down towards the ground, I'll kind of push up off my arm and do a kick upwards as he's trying to come down on me. And that is my unarmed strike.
Okay.
That's good.
Does a 16 hit?
No, sorry. Whew.
Motherfucker.
So, Sakir, we're back to your turn.
Our hand-to-hand is very low. Yeah, our hand-to-hands are kind of. We're not monks.
No, you guys
Lennon
are
would be
you
whipping
guys are
us.
terrible at fist fighting.
Unless he's in
Yeah.
beast mode.
If I'm in beast mode, you're going down, son. You're
They're
going
not
down.
really throwing hands, more like tossing hands.
Yeah,
If you're
yeah.
if you're
Try
in
more
beast
like
mode-
massaging hands.
Playing catch with hands.
No. Just punches and we're like,
daddy hands.
You got soft hands,
All right.
brother. You got soft hands.
Okay, so he's gonna go for another round of strikes at you. He's one of them is meant to be at your leg. He's wanting to take you down, and the other one's gonna be aimed at your face. But as he's about to do it, like he through gritted teeth, he knows that he can't be too loud because he doesn't want to alert other people. He wants this. He's like, by myself for 11 years. And who's the only one of the two of us who actually tried to get the other to come back? And first is a 9 that does not hit. I gotta roll in here, don't I? Well,
It
I'm
would
not
be
gonna roll in this.
helpful.
It would be helpful.
And a 23.
Yeah, that does
23.
that hits.
That hits.
I was about to mention that I had taken my mutagen earlier today, which is still in effect until long rest.
It's
So I
alright,
technically,
we're already past it at this point. You can account for it in any future rolls.
well, yeah. I'm just. I have a 20 AC instead of 19 because I have a
Yeah.
23 dex. When
So
I have
he
that.
tries to
Anyways.
strike out towards
Nice.
your leg, and it kind of glances out. But as you're falling, he gets a solid strike to your face as you're going down. As this happens, we're
6
gonna...
damage.
6 damage. And we're gonna...
Yeah,
I take 6 damage.
Yeah.
I have
As-
strong fists.
Yeah,
Stealthy
and
goes down.
you're now on the ground, and he's trying to capitalize by, trying to take position, get on top. As the other three of
Whoa.
you guys are entering in,
Damn.
you guys kind of begin walking towards some of the constables because you've recognized them from previous investigations. But we're gonna say Leopold. As you walk by, like silent as a cat, the dude sitting off to the side with the tankard of ale, he grabs your cloak and tugs you. And he looks at you and says, I think our friends are having a bit of a disagreement outside. Would you like to follow? And he is going to begin walking out the door.
I am quite bewildered. Leopold is going to try and do his best to break the grasp
Oh,
that
no,
is
he
on
just grabs
my
you
cloak.
to get your notice, gives you a tug towards the door, and then lets go. He just lets you
I guess I'm
decide.
going to follow. Well, just look. Who are you and why are you laying hands on me?
We can discuss that later as he's
Laying
opening the
hands.
door. Rikus, we are back to you. Your round.
Oh fuck.
As your brother is gaining position on you. He's trying to straddle you and really start pummeling you, as one could say.
I feel like the terminology that we're using might be just a tiny bit
Ever
too big.
watched the UFC? They use the word straddle every time you get them out. Okay.
They're going to straddle.
Yeah.
Oh, they're straddling something right
It's
now.
it's pure fighting. I don't you don't dirty the sport, man.
Anyways, so what I am going to do is I'm just going to say it uses 5 feet of movement because I'm technically prone, but
Yeah.
I roll out of the way from underneath him and then I use technically the rest of my movement to stand up. And I'm going to throw a jab at him.
Okay.
So I'm going into so much detail just for an unarmed strike. But I gotta make it plausible as to why I'm gaining the upper hand here. Damn it!
Sorry. 18, by the way. That's what you gotta get.
Oh, 18?
Yeah, go
Well, I'm
ahead
gonna
and-
throw another jab.
Go ahead and roll that second strike.
Yeah. I think you can do it.
Ooh, there you go.
There you go. That got it.
And that's 2 points of damage.
Anyways, that is 2 points of damage. And wait, is standing back up part of your bonus action too?
No,
I believe it's half movement.
It's
Just
half
just
of your
half
movement
movement.
to stand
Okay.
up.
Sorry, I was getting rule sets mixed up. Anyways, my bonus action, when I hit you with that strike, I cast Ensnaring Strike.
Is Ensnaring Strike ranged
Ooh.
only, or can you use it on melee attacks?
It
Well,
says,
it's
as you
melee
hit the target.
Look at the casting cost for Ensnaring Strike. Ensnaring Smite rather.
Ensnaring...
Uh,
Yeah.
I'm peeking into it.
It's best to say, if you want to really do what rules as written, it technically requires a weapon, and I don't know if your fists require a weapon, or it count as a weapon, that would be up
It's
to
an unarmed
Zach,
strike.
DM.
It's cool. I'll allow it. If it doesn't require a ranged strike, then yeah, we're cool. We can just say you can use that Ensnaring Strike.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, very smart of you
anyways.
because to not do damage last turn to do it this turn. I had resistance to you last turn. You didn't do any damage, so I didn't get that buff.
Rikus,
It's very
tell
sad.
him what he needs to do. It's a strength save. I
Strength
believe.
save.
And for context, I will post the spell in the links channel, or in the memes channel. Which I guess I gotta post it. Oh, rare. Oh well.
What's it do?
Leopold, did you tell anybody else
Where'd
that
you roll?
you were stepping outside?
No, this guy just grabbed me and took me outside, and I was very confused, trying to understand why he wanted me to get
Jade,
outside, and why he thought he had the
strength saving
audacity
throw.
to lay his hands on me.
I'm sorry. I don't know how I didn't do that. Okay, that's pretty. 15?
That is
Yeah.
a success.
Fuck.
However, he does get the extra 1d6 damage if you want to roll that, Thomas. So as he strikes you, his first swing goes high. He gets a left hook into your rib cage, and as it strikes, it's almost spiky as tendrils of root like branch out, but you quickly almost still parch mist kind of shift to the side a little bit and rip them off before they're able to spread throughout your whole chest. Secure. Go ahead and take your turn.
So that's 4 more damage.
4 more damage, that is correct. 6 total damage on that strike.
Alright. I'm thinking not only of what he should do to win the fight, but also he would do as your brother.
Are you
Um,
still charmed?
I'm still charmed, yeah.
What the
Start,
fuck?
start escalating.
Okay. So for this next attack, as he's gearing up for it, you just hit him pretty hard, just as hard as he hit you, which was surprising. And for this next one, he doesn't even go to attack you first. He like reaches out to the sides and his eyes go like red, and you see that same blood start to trickle down that you saw before. It's very light, but knowing what you know as a blood hunter, like he's starting a crimson, right? And this like necrotic energy starts coming off of his hands, but he's gonna stop, and he's gonna take a step back, and say, "I'm done."
So, as you do that, Leo, you and this mysterious man round the corner and see Secure and Rikus in some kind of physical bout. You see Secure, like, take a hit and begin to step back, and almost like this necrotic energy radiate from him. And the man that you're standing with very carefully steps up behind Sakir, and he's maybe $130 at most right now. He's very emaciated. But as you turn around and are almost stunned by the brothers fighting, this dude comes up and full in between Sakir's legs, kicks him in the nuts. Sakir, you are going to take... He rolled a crit.
He was behind me? Wait, was he behind me?
Yes, you guys were fighting in the alley, and he would have been able to come from behind you in this case. So you take 4 points of damage.
What? He passed my AC too? What the heck?
He rolled a nat 20. He passes your AC, and he just kicks you in the nuts. And as he does, he sees Rikus on the ground. He just looks at you, and then looks at Rikus again. Looks at you. Looks at Rikus. Thomas. Rikus recognizes this man as Edmund. You saw him earlier. But as he's just standing there, he says, Rikus, what the hell is this? Why does he look like you?
At this point, Leo, having been properly stunned for basically this entire thing, is going to pull out... Well, actually, he's not even going to pull out anything. He's just going to summon, like, kind of the start of a firebolt in his hand. Not going to launch it off, because he doesn't necessarily want to announce this. And I imagine the spell probably has a sound. And he says, everybody, please explain what's going on, because I would hope you to, just overview of more civility than act like children and to fight. And he points to Edwin. I would certainly hope that this is the last time you'll ever lay hands on me or one of my teammates.
Hey, he was one of my teammates first. He points down to Rikus with his still mostly full tankard, and he says, my name is Edmund, by the way. Why does he look like you? He looks down at Rikus again and is
why were the
pointing at
two of you
Sakir.
just fighting?
Rikus kind of glancing up at Edmund, who's kind of still down in a stance. As Sakir was going to punch him and use activated Crimson Right, Rikus instinctively went to his revolver of warning and was like, I'm in imminent danger kind of thing, and was like ready to draw. So I'm kind of in that pose ready to draw. But I'm going to look up at Edmund, and I'm going to relax out of my stance and stand up and kind of, dust my leather a little bit. And kind of hold his breath to Edmund. Kind of, this is the second time seeing him, in an emaciated state. He's going to kind of pause for a moment and say, "Oh, just brotherly love." And
well, that's understandable. And he reaches a hand down towards you, Sakir, as kind of like a hand to offer you, to help you up. You slap it away.
Like, that's not the way to introduce yourself to somebody.
I am also going to go walk up to Sakir and try and give him a hand up.
As you say that, Sakir, he says, hey, big, tall dude, necrotic energy, fighting an old friend, what would you have done?
I would have taken an extra second to look. Didn't you hear the words coming out of my mouth? Didn't you see that I was stepping back? That really hurt. And he just punched me across the rib. Look, this is what hurts more. And he takes Leopold's hand.
He
He's like,
looks down
nice
towards
to meet you.
his leg, which is just like completely red. He says, well, you got balls of steel or something down there, because that hurt me just as much. I don't need to know why you two were fighting, but let's go inside and get something to drink. It sounds like you guys could certainly use something. And he just takes another big swig of his tankard.
See,
for what it's worth, he struck first.
I know he did, but that doesn't matter.
That was precisely the answer to Leo's question, is he was like to at least stay back with Sakir, walk up to him and give him like a very pointed poke on the chest and said, I knew your brother was a bit of a wild card, but I expected more professionalism from you. What was this? Apparently you're the one who struck first.
Excuse me.
I'm doing
Yes,
this to
he's-
Rikus. I'm doing this to Rikus.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Sorry, I was really confused, so I was like half paying attention
Yeah.
to what you're saying. Rikus is going to grasp the hand in front of him, kind of lean in to Leopold, and trying to remain out of earshot of Sakir and then walking off. Hold on, guys, I gotta sneeze.
Damn.
That was a lot of sneezes.
That was a lot.
He's gonna and kind of trying to remain out of earshot. He's gonna be like, is no one going to call to the fact that he just threw the dagger?
Leo is going to respond by trying to give him another poke in the chest. So the effect's probably muted, considering the hand is grabbed. Your brother did the right thing and saved us all from what likely would have been our death. And yeah, at that point, you will end it with, I expect more from somebody who represents an institution as prestigious as the Academy of the Dusk. At that point, he will try and break the grasp and leave and end the conversation. Do you try and keep him in your grasp?
I do attempt to keep you in my grasp, but I'm gonna say, hey, magic man. I think I know what my brother would do. I may not have seen him for a long time, but I've lived with him longer. That was my brother.
Yes, I want to do a contested athletics check to see if they actually do break out. Which, considering I dumped strength, he most certainly won't.
Hey, we've been rolling crap. You got this.
Attributes, athletics. 13. See if you can beat a 13 athletics to see if you hold on to
You won't.
Leo.
La, 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 la. Sorry. You have a -1. Oh no! I wasn't really like. I
So,
wasn't.
I imagine Leo probably breaks the grasp, walks to the edge of the alley before you say that. He's going to look back at Sakir. And
Sakir? Yes?
Secure.
sorry, Rikus. Normally it's you guys who are screwing it up. Now it's me screwing it up. Yeah, he is going to look back to Rikus and say, maybe your brother was controlled by something. And if he was, we should investigate that. But maybe there's a chance you just don't know him as well as you thought he did. As well as you thought you did. And at that point, he will exit the alleyway.
Rikus is gonna follow into the tavern. Kind of broody.
I'm assuming I went inside with Edmund.
Yes, Edmund kind of picked you up, or tried to. You slapped his hand away, and then he kind of walked with you into the tavern as Leopold seemed to be scalding Rikus.
After we get inside, in a brief hesitation, Sakir would apologize to him. And say,
To who?
sorry. Not to you. To Edmund. And just like, sorry, tensions were high. I can see where you're coming from. I'll take your hand now.
He holds his hand out to shake yours. And as he does, he says, yeah, it's alright. I should have recognized that you looked like him. He talked about you once or twice. Well, more than that, but all I knew is
Same
that
to
you were
you.
taller than him.
I'm glad you're alright.
I'm glad I'm alright, too. I mean, pretty low on blood, but it is what it is.
I'll pack a punch.
Yeah, I don't think I can be doing any more of that. I'm pretty sure I almost shattered my shin bone on that. I'm not even joking. And as you looked out, like, it's really, like, a bruise is already forming on his shin. Like, there was no muscle or skin, really, in between that and the bone. He's so skin and bones at this point.
That does look good. I have a good friend who knows a thing or two about modern medicine.
I would say, funnily enough, I was actually going to go over to Lennon and Wayne while this conversation was going on. I suppose I would ask this primarily to Lennon. Actually, I guess you'd mentioned there are a few people around. Is this a, like, I guess, how close are people? Would I be able to say something in like a hushed tone and not have it be heard around?
Yeah, it's pretty well spread out at this point. A rush is not.
In that case, I assume Lennon and Wayne are at the same table.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Lennon's just thinking out loud to Wayne. It's like, and then he flew off and took the dagger. But
I will ask. I'll ask
one, right?
the two of them. For a bit of hesitation, and especially looking over to the table where Sahir, Raikus, or presumably Raikus and Edmund are at, asks, the two of you wouldn't happen to know anything about potential mind controls or charm spells, would you?
Oh, Leopold, you're back. Mind control.
About what?
Charm spells, being able to make somebody do something against their will.
I mean, a
That's not
little
my
bit.
area of expertise.
I've read
Or
about it.
potentially how to disrupt their effects.
And you're
I've
not
read
in this
about
conversation, Secure. This is just them three.
Oh,
Yeah, this is like
Well,
before
I was-
you were walking up.
Do you have?
While you were talking
oh,
about
got it.
Yeah.
Do you have access to dispelling effects of some kind?
I'm pretty sure to spell magic is a 3rd level spell, and I only have 2nd level spells.
It is a 3rd level spell.
So, no, I can't do anything like that myself, but...
I do have 3rd levels. I do not have that one.
I mean, I guess it assumes on the. I guess it depends on the type of charm as well. There are legends of certain, stronger charms here and there, but.
No, and I imagine Sakir probably does walk up before we finish the conversation, so Leo will very intentionally try and hush the two of them up, saying, "We'll talk about this later."
So as Secure and Edmund pull up with what'd you say?
I did not hear what you said, Ned.
I just kind of as I make eye contact with Secure, I just kind of very hushed but very kind of obvious towards Leopold. I just go, "Sorry about your asshole." Right after he says, "We're going to talk about this later."
What's
Okay.
this about an asshole?
Do I hear the part about can we talk about this later?
I would say no. They're actively trying to hide it from you.
Oh.
And but you do hear
That was
something about
wrong.
Leopold's asshole as you walk up from Wayne.
Lennon looked surprised
Okay.
as well. What about his asshole? What?
Yes, Sakir.
Oh, Sakir, you're back. How'd you get more injured?
Unless there's
Sakir?
more pressing matters, I was wondering if Lennon would take a look at Edmund's leg. If
Oh.
there's something I didn't know about that happened during the combat, maybe that can take precedence. But I mean,
I don't.
however-
I think Lynn should be able to go look at him. I can take care of myself.
All right. If you have,
yeah.
I'll take a look at his leg. You said, Leopold, if there's something wrong with your, I'll take a look
Go.
at it later if you wait. Oh,
Go.
all right.
I didn't know. Lennon,
And he
Lennon,
shoots
Lennon.
a
It's private
Death
matters.
glare, Wayne. He shoots a death glare, Wayne.
I'll tell Lennon. It's private matters. We'll keep it hush hush. Hey.
As
I
you
feel you,
say
man.
that, Edmund kind of is now limping, and he kind of steps over and sits down and props his leg up on another chair. Lennon, would you like to do an examination?
I would like to do
And
examination.
is Raikus still outside, or has he walked inside during this?
Raikus is inside at this point, but I don't know where he would be. Whether he's sulking or trying to gather with everyone else.
Is this a medicine check, DM?
Yes, it would be.
Yes, sir.
Rikus is has grabbed
Ooh,
himself
17.
an ale at the counter and is at the bar stool, like at the stool, in the general vicinity of where the party's at. Nothing really distinct there,
Okay.
but I'm like
So
there.
yeah, you're within earshot. So Lennon, as you begin looking at it, um, the skin is wrapped so tight around the bone, it looks like he probably bruised the shin bone with whatever kick he did. So you start
So, I
applying
mean,
some
how did you get
salves.
more injured than when you first arrived here?
He holds his drink up towards Zakir and says, "I kicked him in his stone nuts."
What? Why? What happened?
Him and his brother were fighting outside. It's a short story that I don't want to tell.
Fighting?
Um,
Do I need to examine them?
no, they're both fine. They're a lot tougher than I am right now. I'm a skin and bones right now. Give me 2 weeks and I'll be back up to normal weight. Either way,
Impressive.
it'll probably be way more than that. That was an exaggeration. I don't know what's going on with my leg. Can you do anything to help with that?
Yes, of course. I have a couple. I have a couple things I could do here. Would you like the magical treatment or just the regular medical treatment?
Why not magic? Who doesn't love a good magical treatment? As
Alrighty
long as
then.
it doesn't treat my STDs.
He
Linen.
wants those?
I might have something for that, but well, we'll talk about that later.
No.
Why would you want that anyway?
It ruins my favorite pickup line if I don't have them, okay?
You intrigued, but maybe later. Maybe later. Later, Linen. And
He
as
kind of
Linen
looks
will.
at you questioningly after saying that, just like you can see it going through his head to like, does this guy swing both ways? Like, what is going on? So as you, pull some salves and some bandages
I'll
out,
cast
you
a.
begin...
Yeah, I'll cast a cure wounds.
Okay. As you do, the bruise begins to very swiftly heal and kind of solidify that. It looks even a little bit healthier than it probably did before then. So as you heal him, he's like, "Oh, that feels nice." And as he stands up, he goes and gets another pint of ale, and then kind of slides next to Rikus, and at the bar, and kind of in a hushed tone goes, "Well, would you like to inform me what that was about? Why your brother was beating the shit out of you in a back alley?"
For the record, I did throw the first punch.
Yeah, but he was winning.
It was to be expected. I'm more of a ranged person, as you know.
He was winning by 2. Just to be clear.
Just to be clear, he did deal more damage. But with how Edmund saw the situation, you were starting to radiate necrotic energy, and Rikus was lower than you were. Either way, he just kind of leans over and says, "So what's with all these newbies? They all look green as hell."
Out to grapple you.
Whoa, what's going on? Hold up.
I don't know if it was you or who it is. Connection spotty.
Connection is going very spotty all of a sudden.
Uh-oh.
I'm good.
Okay, was
Am I good?
the only one?
Just crap.
No, it kind
No.
of went sketchy for everyone, it looked like.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because you were cutting in and out like 40 times, and I was like, "What's
Yeah, for a moment I
going
thought that
on?"
was my internet crapping out.
I think
Mine is.
it was the
also?
server pooping out a little bit.
Yeah.
Because everyone
Maybe.
experienced it. If you want to turn your camera back on, Thomas.
Oh, my bad.
It says the connection's like 5K. Oh no, it's back to green again. It was
Yeah.
it was like 5,000 milliseconds.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I think it might
think
be a
it's-
Discord server issue, probably.
I believe it's the server issue. Regardless, so as he kind of leans over towards you, Rikus, he says, "So what's with all of these new kids? They're greener than I was 2 decades ago. What is going on?" Why did Lycus bring these people in?
He's gonna kind of shrug and open his hands and say, "Welcome to the Misfits."
That's a terrible catchphrase. As you guys are sitting there, he just kind of goes silent and just kind of sits next to you for a little bit as you guys are drinking. Does anybody else wish to converse with each other?
I don't. Well, I guess Sakir is probably still around our table, isn't he?
Sakir would be around your table. It's Rikus and Edmund who are off on the side.
Oh, yes. One, I would like to inquire about the state of Sakir's nether region. Make sure he's okay after he got kicked in the dick.
Lynn walks
Damn,
back.
bro.
Lynn walks back up. You've got into a fight with Rikus and got kicked in the dick.
Well, it
Sakir.
wasn't Rikus that did the dick kicking. That would be Edmund, I believe his name
That was Edmund. Honestly, in the end, he's more hurt than I am. I'm fine now. It's hurting more on my side from Rikus' kidney punch. That's gonna hurt for a while.
Does Lynn recognize what type of damage for the kidney punch? Does he recognize it was caused by a spell?
As you kind of look at it, there seems to be like some holes in his shirt right there. And there actually are some like twigs and vines still connected to his shirt that he hasn't fully brushed off yet. You're looking at it and you're like, yeah, probably some kind of minimal magic was a part of that, but nothing major. I mean, it's just a kidney shot. It's gonna hurt for a little bit, but it'll be fine.
And Leo would like to get some dinner.
Alright.
'Cause it's like, what, mid-late afternoon?
It's
Early evening?
probably late afternoon at this point. Probably 4:30, maybe 5 o'clock.
Probably didn't really get a lunch.
Second lunch, dude. Let's go.
So as you guys are kind of grabbing food, just discussing with the Cobalt Guard and other people coming in and the other survivors, there were 3 survivors, that being Edmund and Thomas, seemingly from Rikus's previous adventuring group. And then the third is a Cobalt Guardsman named Jeffrey Dunmere, who, like the others, incredibly skin and bones, fully drained of blood to the brink. He seems the worst off of the 3. It's actually kind of strange because Thomas is a halfling bard, and doesn't have a lot of blood to him in the first place. You know, halfling. But he seems to be doing the best out of the 3, it seems.
Kinda sus.
Take it as sus as you would like. So as you guys are talking and getting food, about 6, maybe 6:30, there is someone who comes into the tavern and begins looking around, and immediately catches eyes with he's gonna actually see Wayne first at the doorway, and he's going to come over and, you know, human, maybe half elf, younger person, maybe early mid-teens, like a fairly young kid, steps over and holds out a note to you and says, you're a part of the Inexorables, yeah?
Yep.
A ship just came in with this note. Also, he pulls a rock out of his pocket and hands it to you as well. Says, I don't know what's in the note. We were told to give it to you. We just came into the harbor. I think we have one of your guys' horses.
Horse. We don't own any horses.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, we do.
I'm within earshot, obviously, and
I would say, yeah, you're within earshot, and as soon as you hear horse, you and Edmund kind of whispering to each other just immediately. Edmund says, baby's still alive?
Rikus is gonna turn and look to Edmund and go, "Oh yeah, baby." and he
Oh
just
my gosh.
he just he kind of does some stuff a little bit, finishes his pint, puts it at the counter, and walks with the ferryman to the ship.
Okay. Well, he did hand Wayne a note. Wayne, would you like to slice it open and read it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, as you kind of cut it open, begin reading it, do you read it to yourself or do you read it out loud?
I'm probably just reading it to myself first.
Okay. So, as you read it to yourself, it's signed by the Professor Lycus Aranin, who briefly notes out, as this was written a little while ago, more missions are on the docket for you to choose from as soon as you are done in Sargoth. There is a place in Halfton, which is one of the parts of the city of Sargoth. It's a sector. There is a place called the Half Tower in Halfton, the tower of an archmage who will return you to Revedan via teleportation for the price of 200 gold pieces. Use the funds already given to you as soon as the mission is complete. And no matter what is said, do not make fun of the archmage. He is very particular. Return at all haste. The sending stone goes to one of my own. Contact me if you need any more information. And the note itself seems to be magical in nature, like the paper manipulates the words. But as you kind of like put it back in its little sheath, do you share that information with the rest of the party?
Yeah. You said, what's the name of that archmage?
The name is not listed. Just his tower is called the Half Tower.
The Half Tower?
Mm-hmm.
Would Linen know of any wizards?
Linen would not.
No.
Linen absolutely would not know of anything in Sargoth.
Sargoth, that's not somewhere I've been either, is it?
No, it's not really. That's south of Revedan.
What does it mean, don't make fun of him? Who would just make fun of someone they just met?
So, wait,
Yeah, I haven't been there.
do you give all that information to the rest of the party?
Yeah.
Okay. So, as you kind of hand that information out, Rykus is gearing up, ready to go and get Baby off the ship. So, what do you guys do?
So, was Rekus here for like any of that, or did he just leave before the note
I
was
think
read
he
out?
just left.
Well,
God.
here's the thing. He would not know of the ship being there until he's informed by Wayne. So, if Wayne kept it to himself until Wayne tells everyone, he wouldn't be going off to the ship.
Alright.
So, what would you guys like to do? Not everyone at once.
I'll start eating, I guess. He probably's been, Secure's been prepping this whole time. Probably told a few people, just, don't eat my food. I know you didn't bring it up, but sometimes I have to. My food's gross. I make it gross. You don't need to ask any more questions. I've had people eat my food, and it doesn't go well for them. That's it.
By the by, right? Secure, what am I doing with this barrel of blood? What do you mean
I'll take some. Whenever you're ready to give it.
Alright. Yeesh. I don't know.
I imagine during this, Leo is still just eating his food.
I would assume as much.
Well, after I give you your blood, Secure, after I give you the blood, I'm going to decompress and go up and figure out what this note's about.
Oh, it's evidence too.
What?
Like it takes a while. But he's like, yeah, we definitely that's another reason we need it. It's,
Yep. As Lynn's
insane.
trying to like cup out, like I guess you want it in like a cup or something, so he's just gonna take a cup from a table and start like
There
dipping.
is a tap on the side of the barrel, just FYI.
Oh, okay. He's just gonna start. Well, it's in his bag, so it's not like he can. Well, anyways, he'll pour a cup of blood from his bag and give it to Secure. It's like Secure. So Secure, why did you just give the knife to that guy without saying anything? Just
I'll say
innocently.
also, question. The three of us, or I guess four of us with Wayne, we're all still at the same table, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I was hearing this conversation in character, in case I wanted to comment.
Sweet. Yeah, he takes the cup, he pours it in like a flask and starts adding like little odds and ends into it, and starts shaking it up, like almost like a barista, but it's like a whole like water flask. He
Okay.
says, "Well, I don't know what it is, but in that moment I thought it best to follow my intuition. He did say that he may work with us in the future, and we might see him. I think it's best that we trust him."
I don't know. It seems like he knew a bit too much for the situation, don't you think?
And say, Leopold is just gonna bring up a napkin, dab some stuff from his face. And I agree the man is suspicious, but Zakir had the right idea. We almost certainly couldn't have taken him in the moment, and I would much prefer to give him the knife than to have us all die and him take it off our corpses.
Right. I mean, if worse came to worse,
Do well.
if we did have to fight him, that might have happened. I don't see it. I didn't see that at the time as a possibility. He seemed pretty genuine. I'd compare him to Pax almost. He's from there, but he has his own goals and agendas. Obviously, when you're there for a long period of time, your morals and the way you do things is skewed. So he's adapting to this new world, I would assume.
From what?
Dangerous for sure, but
Sorry.
Yeah,
dangerous for
never
sure, but we
interacted
can
with
trust.
Pax, so I can't say.
Oh yeah, Pax was the angel dude.
I remember who he is. I'm just saying Leo, in character, has not interacted with him much.
Yeah,
Okay.
Lennon only knows Pax as like some professor for the academy.
Yeah,
At
he's an
most.
angel dude. He's kind of pretty powerful, overconfident guy that we all know is from Carceri.
Yes. Him and
Oh, boy.
Stolius and Trotty, you guys both know, came from Carceri when it was broken.
I don't. Did
So-
Lennon know that?
Yes, Lennon did know that.
Oh boy.
Pax actually had a fairly long discussion with Lennon about that in your one interaction.
Right.
He's literally
We
spoken
know
the
what's
fact
coming.
that he's from Carceri.
I don't remember that.
Rikus,
Gosh darn. That's a hole in my
are you
notes.
still wanting to run down to the dock to check with your horse? You guys have been told a way to get back to Sargoth. That is the expected way for you to return to Sargoth. That your horse may or may not be able to join you in. Are you still going to be going down to the dock?
Yeah, because I still need to like at least get my horse checked in.
Okay. So, in Cliff Notes, what would you like to do as you go down to the dock? Because you'll be gone for a couple hours. Going down to the dock, servicing your horse, checking everything in, getting all that taken care of, and then coming back. Edmund is going to stay at the Carrion's call. So, in shorthand, what would you like to do?
I think he's just gonna kind of more or less quietly stroll, kind of perusing, his view of, what's going on the streets and around town and all, to kind of taking in information. But he's kind of just really silently processing things.
Okay. So, you run down to the docks, you check in your horse. Are you going to send Baby back up to Revedan via the same boat? Or are you going to try and bring him into the city?
He's gonna kind of restock on certain items from him and switch out gear here and there, and then send him back on the boat.
Okay. So as you're just going into secure, you feed him some, nuts and maybe an apple, maybe sugar cube. You've had baby for a very, very long time, most of baby's life. So, you know, you kind of comfort the horse. Horses aren't best on boats. You know, talking to it, apologize. You know, you're gonna have to go back on the boat back to Revedan. It's only gonna be another day and a half trip. You'll be fine. Restock on all your stuff, and then make your way back up to the Carrion's Call. In the meantime, while Rikus is gone, what would the rest of you like to be doing?
Well, Wayne still has not read off the note. I imagine once Leo finishes his dinner, he'll probably go and ask him about that. But if everybody else wants to do anything first, go right ahead.
I read the note.
He read the note out loud.
I thought you would still kept it to yourself.
No, he informed everyone.
I read it to myself, and then I told everyone after.
Yeah.
I missed the second half of that statement.
Yeah, that's why he's gone to the docks.
That's why Rikus knew how to go to the docks. So, Lennon, you have stepped away to try to begin deciphering the note.
Yes.
I would like you to, we're gonna say roll me a flat intelligence check.
Flat intel check. Oh boy. That's initiative. Whoops. Alright. Ability check, intelligence.
And I will let you roll this at advantage.
Woo! 7. That wasn't an advantage, but woo!
Due to the fact that you will have the books and resource and abilities necessary.
Oh, that's a lot better. 20.
Okay. So, as mentioned previously, this note is a series of shorthand in a multitude of languages, half of which you do not know how to read. It will take some time, but you get some very, very, very good progress on it in the next 2 hours. You're able to somewhat decipher exactly what languages are being used and the style of shorthand. But there is a cipher in it, so you're going to take probably another hour or 2 to actually go through and decipher the whole letter. But you're able to get that far before Rikus returns. Leopold, Wayne, Sakir. What would you guys like to do?
Still the afternoon, so it doesn't make sense to take a rest.
We do need to restock on the
Uh-huh.
potions.
Yes, Wayne?
I'm probably just hanging out and eating. Having some,
Goblin. Okay.
yeah, having some
I'll say,
couple of
Leo would like to engage in some idle chatter with Sakir, see if he can notice anything off that Rikus was kind of mentioning, because
Go ahead and roll me an insight check.
this is a little concerning.
Did you mention that it was Sakir that you were interested in?
No, the conversation kind of put on pause because Sakir showed up, and I didn't want to mention that in front of him. I thought it was more that's what I'm looking for, more interesting that way.
Alright. And go ahead and roll me that insight.
Insight is not a skill that I have.
Sweet.
6. Dang.
With a 6.
I
You
just
know
don't
what?
know him well enough.
You know what? You think he's acting a little funny. Not super funny, but you think he's acting a little funny. He's probably not really acting all that funny in your conversation. But it's like, I don't know this guy very well. I don't know. Smells fishy.
Given that he said we'll talk about this later as Sakir was coming up, would it be safe to assume that I knew that he was...
Wayne is not super, but fairly insightful. He's not stupid.
Yeah. Then I'm going to attempt to aid him in trying to guide the conversation away where we could potentially discern something weird.
Okay. Would you
Say
like
just,
to roll an insight, or would you like to give a...
Roll for yourself. I have a +0.
I'll go ahead and roll myself.
Let's watch you roll a nat 1 and still get better than
Probably.
me.
That's much better than a nat 1.
That's a lot better than a nat 1.
So, Wayne, you like to consider yourself a very, very, very good judge of people. And looking at Sakir and just helping guide the conversation, especially whenever anything about this creature that approached you guys on the boat is mentioned, it feels a little weird. It's almost like he has a more, or just a flat out positive view. Not like, oh, he's my best friend, I'm gonna help him forever, but like a slightly positive view in which that's kind of the opposite from the rest of you guys. Most of you guys have a fairly negative view of this creature. It's a little weird for sure, but it's not like he's fangirling over this creature. It's just slight hints of, it was the right thing to do, what I did with the dagger. Stuff like that. And he's just very, very confident in it.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it was a tough call in the end, but I don't think any of you would have done it differently.
So, with all this information, are you guys intending on taking a rest here in Sargoth? Or are you wanting to this evening go and try and find this half tower?
I think it's
I'm
better
kind of low on
to
HP.
find the half
I am.
tower.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think any of us intend to get in a fight with a man. Oh, woman.
Bing.
True.
I
Short
would
rest?
prefer a bed back home.
Well. Now, my bed is going to be much better than anything you could have here. Much better than most beds in the city.
Because I don't know about y'all's rooms, but my bed was lumpy here. And I don't like that.
You guys slept.
Did you not?
Holds up cryptic note. No.
Guess that's why you're the scribe and we aren't.
Well, Rikus is going to be gone for several hours, right?
Probably another half hour to an hour from this very moment.
Oh, we've been talking for.
You
Okay.
guys, you guys had a fairly long
Yeah.
conversation in which they
Should-
incited you, so yeah.
We-
And y'all
we
ate
should
when
also-
he was gone.
We should also take a moment to restock some of the supplies we used. Correct? That's how these work.
Well,
That may not be the worst
costs
idea,
do
but
it here. And back
Yeah.
there, they'll give it to us free. So I see no reason to spend my money when I can get it for free.
I would say we could use the war chest that we were given, but I believe that's all with Rikus.
It is.
I'd definitely be willing to fund it, though. Although, something I was going to say, now I've blanked. What was I about to say? Oh yes, I would much rather that we didn't spend too long out shopping, so we weren't delaying leave even further. But if we can get things done rather quickly, I see no reason why we couldn't.
Well, you all spend your money. I'll get my stuff for free back at the tower.
I mean, we could also take the moment to at least look for this. What is it? Half tower?
Half tower?
Half
Another
tower?
very good thing we could do. I think it sounds like quite the plan then, and
Very well. Let us go.
Alright. So as you guys kind of gather up, are you going to leave a note or anything for Rikus as to where
So
he can catch up with you?
I thought at least like Zakir and Wayne would be staying here. I thought it was just me and Lennon going. If it is the four of us going, we should definitely leave a note though.
does anybody actively want to stay at the tavern?
If there seems like a glimmer of hope, I get like a short rest or something, some benefit of resting here. If it seems like we're kind of just going,
You could take a short rest here, but that's only because of the fact that Rikus is not immediately with you guys. But like, if you just waited for him to come and then immediately went with the others, I mean, you probably wouldn't get a short rest. But if you're willing to delay your guys' return by, an extra half hour for you to get that rest, you can take it.
are we not wanting that?
I mean, again, I don't intend on us getting into any combat, so I don't believe they would be necessary.
Then I'll just go with you guys. It seems like you guys, you're focused. You want to do this thing.
No, if you feel
And
need to stay, then you watch out for your brother. Stay. I don't want to force you into anything.
Rikus does not need me watching over him. In fact, I think that we don't even need to leave a note. He would find us either way. It's his job.
No, we should definitely leave a note. No sense in making the man work any more than he has to. So, a note is left and we all head out.
Alright. So, as you guys head out, you leave a light note, just a general direction of where you're heading into Halfton, trying to find the Half Tower. According to the note that Wayne read, it seems like it's a pretty major landmark there, so it should be pretty easy to find. So you guys take out, heading towards Halfton. Is there anything in particular you guys are looking for on your way there?
Are there shops for health potions and stuff on the way?
There are some, most of whom are not open. There are a few that are. However, I will note that Wayne does make a good point, at least for health potions or cheaper potions. You probably could get them for free at the school. Because there is the High Professor of Conjuration and some other stuff that do brew potions themselves. That's where you got all the potions before this mission. So, if you're talking about health potions at least, stop jacking off, Thomas. It's... Unless you're really going for some more expensive ones, which you probably wouldn't find at the school, there's no real reason for you to buy them.
How about bag of holding?
You could find a bag of holding, yeah.
What?
Oh.
Did Nate just dip?
Yeah. He's back.
Wait!
I couldn't see Thomas or Zach.
That's gay.
Weird.
I thought that they just hadn't turned their cameras back on, and then you told Thomas to stop jacking off. So I realized that it was on my end. Why is my camera not on?
I think when you
just
DC
disconnect. When you disconnect, it turns your camera off automatically.
So they're not spying on you.
Are there any
I would
scroll-
recommend we get bags of holding.
Are there any scroll shops open?
I will say that there is one.
Imagine
Sure.
not already having a bag of holding.
Lennon would like to go into the scroll shop while, Sakir looks for a bag of holding.
Alright. What are you looking for, Mr. Lennon?
So Leopold mentioned dispelling or the dispel magic, and nobody in the party has it. So Lennon's trying to think ahead, and it's like, okay, if we're gonna have this conversation later, let's buy a dispelling scroll.
Okay. So as you walk in, there's kind of like an elderly elven woman behind the counter who's just like, welcome. What can I do for you, young man?
Oh, hello. Hello, shopkeep. I'm looking for a particular scroll. Do you have one? What was it? Dispel magic.
Yes, I have a fair few of them. We have a bulk sale. You can purchase one for 250 or 3 for 650.
Dang it. I don't actually have that much. Alright.
She kind of looks you up and down and says, I'm not certain you could really afford it in the first place, though.
This
As she
is
pulls
true.
the scrolls back.
This is true. Oh well. I mean, at least I learned the
just,
prices of
sorry.
these things.
Did we all go into the shop, or did Lennon break off on his own?
It seemed like Lennon broke off on his own. However, Leopold knows Lennon has no money.
Well, the question is, do I know he's going to a store or like a shop?
I would say.
Because I don't know if
yeah.
he verbalized those plans.
No.
He does
Lennon
not
would say.
verbalize, but I would say you're perceptive enough to like see which direction he's heading and
I
follow.
mean, I do have a 18 passive perception,
Yes,
so
you do. Hence why I'm giving you
just-
this info.
in that case, Leo will split off, and no, he'll say that he's just gonna go make sure Lennon doesn't get lost, and the two of them should head off more towards the tower.
Guess
And,
Yeah, I'm wrapping. I'm basically wrapping up with this lady, with the storekeeper. It's like, I guess I'll have to discuss this with my group since they have most of the money. All right. Well, thank you for the information.
and then at this point, I imagine you probably
Yeah,
like a
you hear the
little.
bell of the door
yeah.
open.
And then
Yeah,
Mr.
there you are,
Moneyman
then.
himself.
Oh, hey, Leopold.
Did you find anything you were looking for?
Oh, I was just you were asking about dispelling earlier, so I thought I might as well check up on the prices in the city of a dispel magic scroll. Apparently,
Yeah,
it's
so- How much
two-
was that?
250 for one, 650 for three. Apparently, gold that is.
Sounds like a good deal to me. And you see, no, not that one. Adds a few gold to a bag, walks up to the elderly shopkeep and hands him the 650 gold.
She kind of nods. Oh, thank you for your business, young man. As she presses all these forward, and she kind of looks back at all of her other scrolls and says, "Is there anything else I can help you find this evening?"
Oh, jeez.
Well, look to Lennon, and I'll hand him one of the scrolls, and I'll keep two.
Okay.
What did you need them for, by the way?
Power word kill.
Power word kill.
Guess whatever out of this shop.
All right
That's
then.
2 gold.
I guess.
What a bargain.
Well, did we? I don't know. Leopold, did you need any other magical effects, or I kind of just came here to ask about this. I don't have any other business.
Well, if everything's frozen, are we good? My gosh. Servers going poop.
I'm back.
Everything just disconnected from everyone.
Man, Discord server must really hate us tonight.
Man,
Well, we
I
are
thought
going to
y'all.
stream.
I thought it just got really quiet in the room. and I
Yeah.
was like,
Me
whoa.
too.
Yeah,
I
I was like,
started
"Don't talk
saying
to me."
something and it was like,
I don't-
"What?"
I noticed the freeze, but I'm like, wait, no, I'm still talking. It's fine. But
Okay.
what was the last thing
I
that
was
happened?
gonna say that was me, but if everyone else is having issues too, I guess it's not the storm down here.
It is everyone. It is the server.
Yeah, I think it's because you're streaming at the same time, which is sad.
That might be a bit of it, but that shouldn't tax it this much.
What was the last thing that happened?
So either way, last thing that happened was you asking Leopold if he had any scrolls he was interested in, which I
Okay.
do not believe is the case.
Indeed.
So in which
Alright.
case you guys pocket the 3, 1 for Lennon, 2 for Leopold, and you guys leave. Wayne and Sakir. Sakir was interested in picking up a bag of holding. Does Sakir have bag of holding money?
That's what I did want to talk to you about that. I realized in session 2, and I forgot till now, I never added any starting gold to Sakir. So I don't know how much because we never got to discuss it, how much money he would have started off the campaign with. If he starts with 0, I guess he starts with
You
0.
can start with 29
But-
gold pieces.
I'll take 29. That's not enough, though, by any means. So he has not many other options.
Nah, you could always take it up with your brother.
Oh yeah, you can put it on his tab.
He is the one holding the purse strings, after all.
Right.
Doesn't he have like the platinum as well?
I think so.
Yes, he does have
Dear.
the platinum. So, you
And I
guys.
believe the party knows about it now, considering a guy literally looked at him and said, "You have my money."
Yes,
I already
the
told
party-
everyone.
The party knew about it from the moment he discovered it, since you guys left the apartment. Either way, so the four of you are going to begin heading to Halfton.
Although, before we meet back up with the group, I would like to, I guess, continue the conversation with Linden, saying that, Rikus is worried that Siki may be under some sort of mind control from that, Harius, that was his name. From the Harius we met. Or, no, was the guy's name Harius, or was
Varys, who you could also call Shazan Faraway.
it Shazan? Yeah. From that Shazan fellow we met on the boat.
Wait, how do you figure?
Well, brother knows him best, and well, I don't know I don't know Sakia the best myself, but I got a strange feeling when I was talking to him earlier. I don't know how much of anything we could do, and it'd probably conversation best had with Lycus, or yeah, Lycus Erenin, but something to definitely keep in mind.
Oh. Alright then. Wait. Oh, that's why you needed the charm. Ah, I see. That's why you asked about it. Huh.
Yes.
What
Nothing to
happens
do
if
with my
this...
asshole. I don't know where Wayne got that from.
I mean, just in solidarity. If you do have medical problems, I am open.
I do not have any medical problems, especially not with my ass. And while your medical skills are quite great, I can take care of myself. But I do appreciate the concern.
Alright then. But I... What if the dispel magic doesn't work?
Well, it's better to at least have some preparations than to be left scrambling.
Guess. I've never actually had a spell this powerful before.
Spelling like this is also outside of my usual wheelhouse, so we'll have to see how these things go.
Just... What did Sakir and Wayne go off to?
You mean... Oh yeah, it was Sakira. I'd confuse brothers now.
I have to
don't...
look every time.
I don't know, I would have to you.
Oh,
But
shit.
now, Rikus is raising his hand.
Rikus is raising his hand.
Oh no, I was just cheering because he almost slipped up on the name again for like the 12th time tonight.
Oh, nice. So, Sakir, Wayne, would you guys like to talk about anything as you guys are off on your own?
I'm gonna be straight with you, Wayne. I do not think I have enough money to get one of these bags. Is there any way I can repay you later?
Well, how much is the bag?
The bag is.
I don't know yet, but it's probably more than 29 gold.
That's fair. I would agree.
Alright, yeah, you're
Oh.
right. Let's go out.
Lucky for you, the church is in possession of some money and is fairly generous. We offer 10% interest loans to the common folk. That's pretty fair, I think.
Right, you're church man. 10% interest yearly?
Monthly.
Really? Monthly. Alright, I'll see what I'm getting into first.
All right.
I'm gonna go up to the front counter. Cheap bag of holding.
Behind the counter, you see a fairly young-looking halfling man kind of pep up and say, cheap bag of that would be about 300 gold pieces.
So that's 270. One.
Huh?
I turned around to look at Wayne. 271. Do you have that on hand?
I'm gonna look past Secure and go, how about 250?
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check.
Nice.
Oh,
No.
15.
So as you look around and lock eyes with him, he almost seems a little weirded out by you, as he's probably never seen an astral elf before. And as he locks eyes with you, he says, lowest I'm allowed to go is 270.
Fine.
Okay. So that would be 241 out of your pocket, Wayne.
Okay.
Investigation or insight to figure out exactly what place this guy has in the establishment. Because usually, in this day and age, the owner does a lot of the things.
Go
And has a lot more control.
Go
This guy
ahead
seems
and
to-
roll me an insight.
I don't know.
Bro,
why.
you're at the equivalent of the Walmart of Dungeons and Dragons.
Right, that's what it feels
Wayne-
like, which is weird.
Wayne, I will give you this for free because you're generally going to be a little bit more thought-provoked than Secure will. He has a
19.
little name tag that says Assistant Sales Manager on his chest. That
Okay,
is a
screw
little
you.
hard, that is a little hard to
off.
see because he is a halfling and he is standing behind the counter. But you kind of like peer over at the right angle rather than trying to assess his status. Secure, with a 19, you tell this guy's probably, I don't know, he's probably not a manager, like a full manager, maybe an assistant
Maybe
manager.
assistant manager.
You know, he's not super confident. Probably got the job a little while ago. You know, working here for a while, got bumped up to the front counter. You know, he's not super confident, but he's made some sales in his day.
Alright, we'll go for 270.
He
And
sets the bag on the counter and waits for the gold.
I'm gonna put 29 gold on the counter and look over at Wayne, see if you're putting the rest.
I'll set the other on the counter.
The other 241.
Yeah.
Then he takes out a piece of paper that definitely was soaked in blood at one point. It probably was an accident, but it's uncanny. And he's just gonna write I owe you on it and hand it to you, and then take the bag.
The halfling is mortified behind the counter as just a note covered in blood is written on.
Oh, it's dry.
and handed- covered in blood is written on and handed to your astral elf friend. Thanks for shopping. And he ducks down from his stool and goes behind the counter.
I'm gonna reach for the bag real quick and just go, real quick, let me see that. And I'd like to see if there's any actual magical, like, if this is in fact the bag of holding that we wanted to buy.
Okay, so as you kind of open up the top, it does have a normal bag of holding thing. You kind of stick your arm in there, you know, kind of feel around. There's nothing in there. You would say this might not be as large as a general bag of holding because you were asked for a cheap bag of holding. You would say this is
It was
probably,
cheaper?
you would probably say, yeah, this was cheaper. You would probably say that this is like a 4x4 bag of holding
Okay.
rather than your more standard 8x8.
Alright.
So putting bodies in there might be a little bit more difficult than your usual bag of holding.
Not if they're halflings.
Fair. Very true. Very factual indeed. So, as you guys kind of dip out, I'm going to say you guys meet up with Lennon and Leopold as they're walking down the main thoroughfare. You guys kind of all gather and begin making your way deeper into Halfton. And as soon as you enter the outer reaches of Halfton, all of the houses get significantly smaller. As this is Halfling Town. Gnomes, halflings, dwarves are all just walking about. There are some other smaller races too, but those are the prominent ones, obviously. And there is a big, in comparison to the rest of the houses, it's probably only like 70 feet tall. But there is a tower, like, near the center of Halfton that is the only thing you would call a tower in this sector of the city.
Well, let's go to the tower.
All right.
Did we?
Yes,
Did
sir.
we ever get the? We never got the name of the master of the tower, did we?
No, we didn't.
What if they're not in?
I'm just gonna pull out my little rocky talkie, and be like, "Hey, what's the Archmage's name?"
So as you pull the Rocky Talkie up and speak into it, it takes about a minute, but you do get the response. All right, no hellos, understood. The man's name is, wait, where is it? It's in my notes somewhere. I swear it is. He says his name is Peter Basarius. He is a halfling man, and probably more quarterling is a better description.
Thank you.
But all right. And he kind of sets it back
Was that-
down.
Was that Professor Aaron?
Taller or shorter?
It's a 3/4ling, so they'd be 3/4 of a normal person.
He said a quarter, not 3/4. He said 1/4.
Right.
Hmm.
But we know that it's impossible for a halfling and a halfling to have a quarterling because they just have another halfling.
Unless it's a halfling and a gnome. Or a halfling and a
There you go.
Because
There
a
you go.
halfling would be like 4 or 5 feet tall, and gnomes are like 2 to 4. So if it's a short gnome,
Halflings are way shorter than 4 and 5 feet. Halflings are in between
figured
like
it out.
3 and 4 maximum.
are you sure?
Dwarves are the ones between 4 and 5 feet tall.
Alright. So maybe he's a halfling and a
And
goblin.
very.
Oh, Faye. More Faye?
So
Anyway,
His mom's a goblin.
as you guys round the
that's
corner and
nice.
begin walking up, Wayne and Leopold, you with higher perceptions, immediately notice Rikus actually across the square from you, also heading towards the tower. You guys kind
is
of
he on his horse?
He is not on his horse. He's definitely would not have had enough time to walk back to the tavern and then to the tower. So you know he definitely went straight from the docks to here. So as you guys kind of walk up and meet together, what would you guys like to do?
Oh, how'd you get here, Rikus?
Where's your horse?
Oh, figured. Well,
Yeah,
the
right.
horse is not needed. I do not wish to put baby on the teleporter.
Hmm?
Baby
What?
tends to get a little sick.
Yeah, saves us waiting for you and saves us from a sick horse by the sound of things. Let's go meet this Master Viserius.
So as you guys kind of walk up and knock on the front door of the tower, it takes a little while. You hear a voice go inside. I'm coming. And you don't hear any
Sound right.
footsteps inside.
No laughing, guys.
There is the door is split into 2 sections. There is a rectangle on a lower end that's maybe about 3.5 feet tall. That is another door. And opening a little eye slit on that lower door, you see a pair of like bright blue eyes peering out from them. It says, "What are you doing here?" What do you want?
Leo will, squat down to be closer to eye level to the quarterling. He'll say, "We will send. I believe you might be expecting us, Professor Lycus Aaron.
I'm not expecting any Lycus. Lycus, I know Lycus. What is
Oh,
he
yeah.
sending y'all here for?
Was it Lycus who sent the note?
Yes, it
Oh,
was.
It
yeah,
was
Professor
Lycus
Aaron.
Aaron,
Yeah.
yeah.
He requested that you teleport us back to. Let me look at the map.
Revenant? Not Revenant.
Back to Riverdan. Yes.
All right. Well, there's a fee, right?
Oh, he said it was going to be free.
No, he didn't. He knows me. I don't do things for free.
Going to glare at Wayne and ask Rikus to bring out the. Oh,
How about a gallon of Colt blood?
Why do you
What?
have that?
That makes me not want to open the door.
I'm just saying that we have a lot of other supplies that we could give instead of gold. I know that we actually have a lot more gold than we have those supplies, but if you are interested in bartering for some other
Nah, gold's fine.
rarer items. Okay.
Alright, Rackles will take care of it.
As all of that's going on, Rikus just reaches into one of his pouches and grabs 20 of the platinum.
Okay. There's a little slot beside the door, almost like a mail slot that slides out, waiting for you to insert the platinum.
Well, I put it in.
As you put the platinum in, and the mailbox seals, the big door opens, and you guys see maybe 20 inches tall a half of a halfling man who has fully matured features and a beard that almost does touch the ground. Those bright blue eyes with like a fiery red beard. Just the most... He's got like a fluffy mutton top, but it's like spiky red hair. And he kind of looks out towards you and says, "The teleportation circle's on the second floor if you'll follow me." And the stairs are about 2-inch increases for each stair, as there's a spiral staircase in his tower. As he begins stepping up them, probably somewhere between 7 and 8 of his steps are the equivalent to 1 of any of your guys' strides. At a certain point, he kind of realizes what he's doing, and he just begins levitating up the stairs rather than climbing. And he eventually leads you guys to a room, and he kind of points his stub of an arm that's... He's got like a 12-inch wingspan. Like, he points to a room and says, "If you all will step inside, I'll have to go find my book and rememorize the rune for the School of Dusk, but that's fine. It'll just take me a minute." And he goes into a little side room and gets on his step stool and pulls down this book that's almost the size of his torso. Brings it down and it just thuds on the ground, and he opens it up and begins flipping through.
That's actually a small book.
And he finally finds one, and you see he projects a minor illusion in front of him of it, and he slides over and he says, and magically Mage Hand opens the door and presses it open. Says, "If y'all will step into the circle, I'll get you in Revedan here in a second."
Step inside.
All right.
Fascinating.
As that happens, the door shuts behind you, and seemingly a window from another room, becomes clear, and he's on the other side, seemingly standing on some kind of table, and begins casting a spell. And he holds a wand out and points it at the circle and says, "Y'all have a fun trip in Revedan." And you all disappear and reappear in the basement of the Academy of Dusk.
That only took a short while.
Oh, I wonder if we should have cleared things up with Constable Severum before we left.
quick out of character comment. I almost want to make that character a recurring NPC just so you have to do that voice.
Don't worry. If I make a funny character, it's because he'll show up again. I just don't know how. Maybe we'll go back to Sarnath later.
I'm highly suspicious that if we made fun of him in any way, that he would have gotten really, really mad. I made a deception check while we were in there, and if I had not made that deception check, I set it at a 10 for myself. I would have said that I would have started laughing, just snickering under my breath.
Master Becerrius was such an interesting fellow. What race do you think he must be in order to get that? In order to be a quarterly?
Yeah, perhaps it was a magical accident.
Next time I'm in Saga, I'll have to ask. I'll have to have a conversation with him about that.
But I believe we should probably report to Professor Aaron.
So,
Well, I'm not sure, but if you're interested in him, you might have to work on some enlarge or reduce spells so you don't hurt him.
What's that supposed to mean?
I agree. Wayne, what are you saying?
Or at least learn Spare the Dying.
I mean, I have some healing. I don't intend to harm him, though.
Okay.
It's a nice conversation about...
So, as you guys exit this basement circle, actually, it's right around the corner from your, like, underground apartment, Lennon. And so, as you guys round the corner, Lennon seems, like, excited to get into his study. And, Lennon, you go and you open the door, and as you open it, the cleanest this room has ever been is just in your face. Like, there's a smell of, like, ammonia as it's been deep cleaned. And you look around, and none of your personal belongings are in this room anymore.
I was gone for a day and a half, and they already kicked me out? Time to go apartment hunting again. Oh well, at least I still have the notes, unlike last time. I wonder if...
Go ahead and finish your sentence.
I wonder if they found the secret stash.
As you're saying...
Syringes.
As you're saying this, a furiously quick pitter-patter of footsteps is coming down a set of stairs and rounds the corner, and Harry Harrington is right there in front of you guys and says, "What? I was not expecting you guys to be here this quickly. You might want to talk to Ernest about that, Lennon. I think they've already moved all of that stuff to another place.
What?
I like I said, ask Ernest about it next time you see him. Lycus is up in the tower if you want to talk to him. I don't think he expected you back until tomorrow evening, though.
Alright.
Yeah, well, let's go and give them a surprise visit then. Hopefully we can clear up any reports we need by tonight and be on our merry way.
But on the off chance, do you know where my stuff has been moved to?
I think it was moved to whatever apartment facility they've planned for you to go to.
Okay.
Zach, DM.
Yes.
For the record, the survivors, Ed and Thomas, like they came with us, right?
No, they did not. They were all very weak. They probably, honestly, could not have made the walk to Halfton. They are going to need at least a week to recover before they probably go via boat or teleportation. Probably boat because it's cheaper. They probably will not get to Revedan for a while.
We also just left a note and dipped.
Left a note and dipped. Yeah.
Bye.
So, with that, you guys begin making your way up the Tower of Transmutation, getting to the Professor Lycus Aronon's hold. As Harry kind of presses the door open, he knocks very loudly and speaks in there. The home team has returned, and kind of beckons you all to enter the room. And Lycus is standing over a series of books and scrolls on his table, and he seems very, very, very intently focused on them. And there's also a series of ascending stones on the table that all seem to have recently been deactivated. And as you guys kind of step in, he presses himself away from the table and stands up from his chair and begins walking at least around the table to beckon you guys into the room. He says, I take it your trip to Sargoth was of a successful note?
Relatively, yes.
We're still showing wounds.
You guys are still just bloody.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Depends on your
Relatively, yes.
definition.
My definition is the murders are no longer occurring, and whatever was doing them has been apprehended or defeated.
I'd say
So that's why I say relatively.
Mostly.
All
So
right.
the main aggressor was actually a minion for another who's I think confused after entering this realm. I think that we can.
Okay, never mind. Keep going.
Are you gonna? You're not interrupting?
No, not yet.
Okay. So we took care of him. I wrote it down and I want to remember. It was a Naztharun who's doing the murders. But there's a creature in charge of him, something else from from Carceri, that first of all, much more powerful than us, but second, might actually be an ally for us in the future, if we are to find ways to explain our ways to him.
What Potato Brain means to say is he drank the Kool-Aid. We don't like him, but we didn't really have much of a say in the matter because he just kind of vanished.
He did seem to know about you and Sir Pax, and he also us to some degree.
Alright, so definitely something from Carceri.
Yeah.
That's by the name of Varys.
Sakir, would you mind stepping over here real quick? I would like to check something.
Sure.
As you do, he's going to hold 2 fingers out, and if you let him, he is going to tap your forehead.
Sure.
As you do, I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw.
I'm not very good at those.
No,
We
you're
know.
That's a good thing in this instance.
Well,
Is this to charm me? If it's to charm me, I get advantage.
This is not to charm you.
Yay, 5.
So that was your role. I'm letting you roll for the bad guy in this case, trying to maintain control of your mind.
Thank you.
As he taps your forehead, you black out and fall backwards towards your party and slam into the floor. And as you
No one catches me?
come to,
Rikus like slightly steps out of the way.
Lennon starts taking out medical gauze.
as soon as you hit the floor, your eyes open, and something was definitely in your head. You don't know what that was about. And Lycus kind of looks at you and says, well, that's intriguing.
Naztharun was Oh my word.
Well, I was going to bring up the potential that Sakir had been mind controlled. You can thank Rikus for making the initial discovery.
I'm not thinking Rikus.
But I thought I was going to go about it a bit more subtly. Suppose you got straight to the point.
I guess we didn't need to
wasn't
dispel
going
magic.
to let that persist in case whatever creature has charmed him could see through his eyes. I did not wish a full conversation to occur. Either way, that is very intriguing. You said this creature said it could possibly be an ally in the future, yes?
No. And he looks at him, is like, I don't know what you did, but I do know what he did. absolutely not an ally.
Show
He
him.
suggested it. He's a manipulator, a fiend.
A fiend?
Uh,
Are you
show
certain?
him-
That charm
show-
doesn't
No.
seem like that of a fiend.
No, I'm being irrational right now. I'm sorry. Why did he give him that? No, we still should have given him the dagger, but
Secure. Show him that note he left for the Nestor room. The one with the payment. The one with the weird signature.
Oh, this
Leave.
one?
yeah.
As Rikus is watching Secure go through this little MTB right now. Mental breakdown. He's just gonna be going like he's just opening up his backpack and like shuffling through some notes, and then also like some like case file things, and then kind of slides it over to Lycus. It's just all the evidence and reports that he gathered from the mission.
Did you
He
write?
notes to you. Thank you, Rikus. He'll also take the strange note that Lennon has begun deciphering at this point, but has not yet completed, and he looks at it and says, "Huh." He looks at like all the notes of the paper you've set on the side. It's like, "Huh, very intriguing. I cannot decipher this immediately, and it would take me quite a while to do so, or a fair bit of magic. If you would like to finish deciphering this, Linen, and let me know whenever you are done, we can discuss it. I wasn't intending you being back this early. I expected another evening to prepare. He takes a long pause, and anybody who wants to, you guys can go ahead and roll an insight check. As he just kind of takes this long pause and says, I'm very busy as of right now. If you could prepare the rest of your reports in written form, and I will reconvene with you guys tomorrow afternoon. Let's say 1 o'clock. As he's saying this, I'm gonna say Rikus and Linen. He seems pretty anxious and kind of worried. You can't quite narrow down what about, but he definitely seems worried about something. His eyes kind of keep shifting back towards the table and just peeking at one of the papers and then one of the rocks and going back and forth.
Professor, is everything all right?
He says, yes and no, Linen. As you know, the Archmage Stolius and Trotty seemed to have gone missing, or at least left without word when you guys did, earlier in the day. Well, Pax went to go find him, and now both of them have not contacted me since the evening you have left. Which isn't necessarily too incredibly rare, but it is unlikely that both of them would have lost contact completely. Along with that, I am struggling with politics. The long and short of it is, I have developed a way to sense this umbral essence, and everyone wants a piece of the pie. But if I let one person have it, then everyone else will be... There are 5 other major organizations that have to do with magic and hunting magical beasts in the Caladrian Empire. You have the Emerald Enclave, the Insect Rocratus, the Conclave Escavius, the Topaz Laravus, the Sorceress Supremacy, and all of whom want to get in on the Inexorables. However, if I let the Emerald Enclave in, they will likely just capture the beasts and try to control them and use them for their own gains. The Insect Rocratus won't even hunt anything, they'll just use this technology to develop new of their own. The Conclave is a crew of paladins that will likely have no nuance and just kill everything they find. The Topaz will likely only hunt the largest of the prey and see it as a competition. And the Sorcerers hate the Conclave Escavius, to the point where they two will likely kill each other over getting this if I give it to one of them, but if I give it to both of them, they might kill each other on a hunt. all of that to say, the Valkentons are not being very helpful either.
Oh dear.
I have a few missions, but I'll have to get with some of my other professors and see if they can possibly help me run the day-to-day tasks of the Inexorables, getting you guys missions and knowing where to go and materials, as I attempt to navigate the political sphere of the Caladrian Empire, which is a hellscape beyond Avernus itself.
Oh.
I
That is a lot.
sympathize with you, Professor.
I appreciate that. Also, and he is going to go behind the table, and he is going to grab 5 sacks of gold. He's going to say, I am still attempting to gain further funding for this establishment and this organization as a whole. But this is the best I can do for now. If you did indeed deal with that in Stargoth, that will be a chip that I can play on the political board. Keep that up, because the more wins we can get without other people's help, the more bargaining power I have. And he sets 5 bags, each of 500 gold pieces, one for each of you guys, on the table, and beckons you guys to take them.
Linen.
I'm gonna take 241 gold out of mine, and I'm gonna push it over to Wayne.
265.
I'm gonna look at you. I'm going to roll my eyes, and I'm going to put the rest in the bag. I'm not gonna talk.
Linen.
I
Linen.
hand you 1 extra gold piece. 242 is what you get.
Linen
Count
will.
them out. I'll just be like,
Linen will just pass the full 500 gold to Leopold, and it's like, like cover for the scrolls that we don't need anymore.
Leo will, he will give it back to Lynn, saying that if anyone should be reimbursing me for expenses, it should be the Inexorables themselves. But, and of course he'll look to Professor Aaron now. We can discuss reimbursement for purchases out in the field another time. I'm sure you will probably too tired to have the conversation. Sounds like you've had a long day.
I have had a very long few weeks. However, I will note, as I said earlier, finances are starting to get a little tight for the Inexorables. However, my hope is, if you are able to continue being successful in your missions, and if the away team, who are in the Zemnian Empire right now on the coasts, if they are able to deal with this sea creature, and bring back proof of its destruction, I may be able to get formal backing by the Lord Errant Valkenton, and if that's the case, money will not be as much of a problem anymore. A professor's stipend, even with tenure, is still not enough to fund this operation. Regardless, my orcish associate will be here tomorrow, and hopefully the both of us will be able to lead you down a path and send you on a new mission. I believe we have multiple prepared, and we will let you pick from them. You all are welcome to leave. Sakir and Linen, I would like to speak with you two privately for a moment.
While everyone else is leaving, Sakir's like thoughtfully gonna come out. Thoughtfully come out of thought. He's gonna talk to the. This is Lycus, yes.
This is Lycus, yeah.
Yes. I'm gonna say. I've spent 2 years in a thieves guild, and I found that even if you can't sell something, sometimes just the information of that thing is quite valuable. I wonder if you are hurting for funds, if you could sell sending stones instead, and just tell these different companies where the beasts are without giving them the technology themselves, and you can get to pick and choose which beasts they go and hunt.
They are not accepting this. I have already attempted to provide this function.
Interesting.
They are... I believe the hubris of the Caladrian guilds are falling a bit short. And these are not your general thieving, not thieving guilds, adventuring guilds. These are the most powerful merchant and protection and magical guilds that Calandria has to offer. The Emerald Enclave is based in the Avarian Empire and has sway there that you would not believe. Our dear orcish friend who helps me run the Inexorables is a member of them, which is why I have to be so careful with all of this. The Insecrocratus are fat old lazy fools that half of them just spent a few years in Dan before it demolished. Most of the time they don't know what they're talking about, but they are incredibly prideful. Especially that fat hippo man.
Hippo.
Regardless, I am making my best attempts. Me and Ernest are doing our best in Polydiospheres. The best thing you can do for us is continue on these missions and continue solving these umbral issues. As everyone else has left at this point, he kind of beckons Lennon to come a little bit closer, and he hands both of you guys a set of keys and says, as I know the other 3 members of the home team here have permanent housing already here in Revedan, whereas you two do not. There is a place called Skymark Apartments, which is about 3 blocks southeast of here. There is a fairly spacious 3-bedroom condo that has been rented for the next 6 months for the pair of you. Linen, all of your personal belongings have been moved there. Sakir, we did not know where you were staying, so if any personal belongings were in a tavern or anything, we were unable to move them.
They are all on me.
Alright, well, some furniture has already been purchased and is on the ground floor there and such. You will have to move it in yourselves, but at least you'll have some form of permanent housing here in Revedan for the short periods of time that you are here.
Thank you very much. Sincerely, thank you.
Professor.
No.
Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention. You may see it later in the notes, but this creature that affected Sakir, it wanted some special dagger for something. And the only function we knew of right now is that it absorbs blood and
Yes.
changes the more it absorbs. What's interesting is it seems that it possibly had more than one at some point. The Nestaroon had one, but we think it was destroyed, and then we found a second one that it wanted to reclaim from us.
That's true. I think that's why he charmed me. That's the second it happened, was he asked for the dagger and I gave it to him.
Oh, that's what happened.
I might be biased now to think that was the wrong decision, but I didn't want to give it to him.
The dagger also seemed to do more damage than normal against the Nestaroon, no? Or is that just
It
because
drew
of
his
the blood
blood.
draining? Or is
It drew. I would assume it's because it drew his blood.
This is
Grew in
most
size with the more blood it was
interesting.
fed.
I will speak with Evathar this evening before we go to bed, and maybe a few of the other professors, and see about researching some of this. I don't know. I haven't seen a creature that would use a blade of that sort, personally, ever. I am curious as to the rest of this. And you said this could be the device that was being used to drain the victims of the blood at the scene, yes?
Correct.
Theory.
And that's the working theory.
Alright. Well, as I said, I will try and get some researchers on it. Linen, you already have a pass to the Azure Sky Libraries if, while you are here, you wish to research this. However, I'm assuming that note will be of first import. Regardless, Harry can escort you to your new housing, and I hope to see you in the afternoon tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Will.
So as we all disperse for the evening, We are going to call the session
Uh,
here momentarily,
before
but
before we do in the session, there is at least one little thing I'd like to do. As Leopold, Rikus, and Wayne are filing out, Leopold would like to pull out one of the scrolls of dispel magic from his bag of holding and hand it to Rikus, saying that, well, looks like you were right about your brother, and in case him or any of us happen to find ourselves mind control in the future, this might be of use. A scroll of dispel magic. Thought best be prepared.
Rikus, who looks very visibly tired, kind of just nods and puts the scroll into his bag and shuffles off.
Okay. So as you guys disperse, Leopold, since you asked about it earlier, I will give you the opportunity. Would you like me to read out or Discord you the letter from your brother?
Just go ahead and Discord me because I'll probably need to write up. I'll probably want to like spend my time thinking about the response, and trying to get one out right now is not conducive to well thinking it out. So just Discord
That
to
is
me.
fair. Okay, so I will send that to you via Discord. I hope you guys had fun. There was a little bit of a stalling due to brotherly love, which I've decided to name this session.
Brilliant name.
But regardless, I hope you guys had a good time. We're back in Revadan. We get to do a moving in montage at the beginning of next session. Wayne gets to go find Periwinkle. We get to see Yvonne again and see how lonely Rikus is. Outside of that, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm going to end the recording there.